Hi Taurus, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your spirit guide message reading for you. Now, if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. So let's dive right in now, Taurus, and see what Spirit has to say. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be moving, as always, your spirit guide animal cards over to the side. These will be layered on top of your tarot cards at the end because it gives such a beautiful insight and understanding to what Spirit is saying. And what I'm going to be doing now is shuffling your chakra cards. So let's see. Taurus, Spirit Guide message for Taurus. 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 Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Right here, this is truth, which Taurus, you guys are huge into the truth, and there's a balance here. Oh, interesting, okay. And their dreams. So this is, oh, goodness. All right, let me just fix this for you guys. All right. Right, so we have dreams coming up here, which is the third eye chakra, and we have the throat chakra coming forward. And so truth and paying attention to your dreams, you're actually going to find a lot of truth within your dreams, or what you thought was fanciful or out of reach starts to become more real and have more substance within your life. Now let's see what the botanical oracle cards have to say. Taurus. Spirit guide message for 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 Taurus. Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. This one right here, which is strength. And this one right here, which is perceive. Oh, that's interesting. Spirit is just saying people are going to perceive strength, or you're going to perceive strength in other people where there will not be it. So there's going to be something here where you're going to perceive it as a battle, or you're going to perceive something as needing to be done with force, and you're actually going to find, Taurus, that when you do it with more of an open heart and more strength of purpose and self, you're going to actually be way more successful. Ooh, okay. So let's see what your tarot cards have to say. Taurus, Spirit Guide message for Taurus. Spirit Guide message for Taurus. Spirit Guide's 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 message for Taurus. Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Show me. All right. So at the center of everything is the Four of Swords. You're crowned by the moon. This is a Pisces energy, a time frame February 19th to March 20th. You have the Tower, which isn't a bad card, so don't worry. Judgment. The Lovers. Wow, a lot of major arcana. This is a Gemini energy, a time frame of May 21st to June 20th. The Five of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. Then we have the Two of Pentacles. The World, there we go. And the Six of Pentacles. Now, the repeat of the number 6 is talking about personal strength. It is talking about a connection of self, balance coming in. Yeah, that's what I'm really seeing here. Very interesting. There's also more balance around love, around personal truth, That's what Spirit is saying here. There's a sense of love moving you forward to a new way. Well, in a new way. And there's a sense here of, I'm going to start, of course, with your oracle cards. There is a sense here of truth really guiding you forward. This is going to be a time where you do not want excuses. You do not want, how comes or what ifs and everything like that to be making up decisions for you. You want truth, you want facts, you want to see the beauty that is leading you forward. And here, with a healing and cleansing of the throat chakra, you will be speaking your truth, but also make sure not to speak your truth rather abruptly, because there can be that, old saying for the Taurus, the bull in the China shop, where you're sitting there, you speak your truth, and people take it as being too direct or too abrupt. You're not actually, okay, Spirit is saying you're not actually going to be as concerned with how people perceive what you are saying. That's not really going to be the main thing that you're worried about. But the main thing here that Spirit is saying is that kind of you will get more people on your side if you come from kind of your more sensitive, more sensual nature than if you come from a this is right, understand it, and let's move forward. There's going to be a balance between the two because you're actually going to be rather seductive during this time. Yeah, there's a sensuality to you, there's a strength to you that is just going to be pulling people in, and you're going to be using this to your highest power, and you're going to be seeing here that a lot of ideas, understandings, perceptions come to you in your dreams. And it can also be in daydreams where you just let your mind wander and all of a sudden you have this insight, you have this idea, you have, a way that the puzzle pieces fit together. And you're going to find that that happens more often than not. But be careful not to make this just a dreaming time because it can become very seductive. It can become very much like you walk between two worlds, and that can take away your power. It can, because it's going to make things seem almost too fluid. It's like you can see all the different ways that things are going, and by seeing all the different ways that things are going, you're not going to see the true path of what you want. You're going to be caught up in all the different ways that things can move forward. So here, pay attention to your dreams, but don't get lost in dreams. A healing and a cleansing of your third eye chakra would be very beneficial to you. And that's located right in between your brows, as your throat chakra is located right in between your throat. And this is something that's very powerful. And you will also find that a lot of truth for you, comes within your dreams. You're going to sit there and be like, wow, I can kind of remember having to do it this way. And it's a dream that becomes a lot more real, a lot more truthful for you as you move forward. And how you heal and cleanse the third eye chakra and the throat chakra, you can listen to a chakra cleanse on YouTube. I love the Tibetan singing bowls. I just love the vibration, if you have one, where you can just feel it coming through you. There is also, what else can you do? You can see the golden light of the universe around these chakras and just the purity of the light of these chakras. The blue for the throat, the indigo for the third eye chakra. That's going to be very, very powerful for you, just to see them cleared out of all debris, all negativity, and strengthened and stronger. Then we have strength right here. You have tremendous strength, and it's perceived. You're perceived as severely strong. So if you have any times, and you are going to have times when you question yourself and when you need to rest and when you need to step back from things, people are going to see that as something that you need. They're going to sit there and be like, oh, don't worry, Taurus totally has this. So Spirit is saying here, know your strength. Embrace your power, embrace the way that you are moving forward, but also understand that people are going to be putting or wanting to put a lot of weight upon your shoulders. So you need strong boundaries. Because what's going to happen without strong boundaries is there's just going to be this sense of chaos and being put upon and put upon and put upon, and then there's going to be a sense of breaking. So you have to love yourself enough to have these boundaries coming forward, to have you moving forward in your truth. And the strength right here is the bearberry, and then the perceive is the pine. So there is something here about, I'm just seeing, there's something also that's sticking to you. It's some responsibility, some understanding. It's sticking to you. It's a very tactile thing. It's like almost you can feel the weight of it, all right? And Spirit is saying, be cautious with that one. Be cautious with that, all right? At the heart of everything, we have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords represents a time of rest, a time of needing to step back, think about everything that you have been through and every way that you could have crumbled. And I know that sounds a bit maybe morbid or, not joyous and happy to think about the bad times that could have stopped you in your track, but I see it as something very strengthening, something that's saying to you, look at what you've accomplished, look at how you've moved forward, look at all that you have done, and embrace that strength, embrace that power, embrace that beauty of soul and of self that is moving you towards the next level, because that's where you're heading. You're heading towards something truly great and something truly powerful. Right? And if you don't step back and you don't look at things and you don't, let yourself see everything that you have been through, what's going to happen is you're going to think, oh my gosh, I just haven't accomplished enough. Or, oh my gosh, anybody could have handled this. Or, there's just going to be this, oh my gosh, like this panic moment of, I'm not where I want to be. Everything is so hard. It will never get easier. And if you don't step back, that's going to be the energy that Spirit says is just around you constantly. So by stepping back and embracing your truth, embracing your heart, embracing everything that you have been through, and giving yourself credit for how well you have done and how far you have come, leads to the world opening up to you. It really does. It leads to a planting of a seed towards seeing what it is that you want to create, towards seeing a bigger picture of it all. And you're actually going to be rather pleased with the outcome of things. You're going to sit there and think, wow, I came from this. Because it's going to be very much in the forefront of your mind, all the struggle, hardship, pain, disappointment. This is also a sense of a karmic pattern being broken, and this opens up the world to you in a way that is like, oh my goodness, I didn't think I could be here. I didn't think I could move forward this way. I always thought that this was for somebody else. And you're going to see that no, it's for you, Taurus. It absolutely positively is for you. And as the world opens up, you have the Moon card come into play. And the Moon card, of course, represents a Pisces energy. This is a time frame of February 19th to March 20th. And it's hidden truths. We have Horus right here. And it's hidden truths, it's hidden understandings coming in. But there is also a sense here of facing fears. Because Horus is the god of the dead in Egyptian mythology, in ancient Egyptian religion. And what I'm seeing here is, okay, so what Spirit is saying is that everybody's afraid of the endings, And Spirit is saying there's always new adventures evolving and moving us forward. And so with the Pisces energy coming forward, you're going to see the emotional thread of things a lot more clearly. And with the emotional thread of things, emotionally, people die and are reborn all the time. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a very positive way. You're not the same person you were when you were 5 years old. You're just not. Emotionally, you are more mature. You are more grounded within yourself. You don't throw tantrums whenever you don't get your way. That kind of thing. So here, there's an embrace of the journey that you have been on. And that's also what you understand here with the Four of Swords. The mourning and the moving forward is the fact that you have been through a war, and that war is simply living. That war is simply embracing what you desire and where you desire being. And as the moon rises and as you see the different phases of your life coming forward, you'll find that fear starts to lessen. And that as fear lessens, you have the Two of Pentacles coming into play, which is you're finding your balance. You're finding your truth. You're finding the balance between the spiritual and the mundane. You're finding the balance between what you have created and what you still desire. You're finding a balance that comes of the heart and of the soul and of the self. And so you're looking towards a deeper truth, a deeper power, and a deeper understanding. As that balance comes in, okay, you have here love. And I love this for you because, Taurus, you thrive on love. And you are one of the most wonderful people to have in your corner, because you will bat for somebody no matter what. I mean, if they're absolute jerks, you'll tell them, you know what, you better, change this, but you'll still be on their side. You are also one of the worst people to have against you. I mean, seriously, a Taurus never forgets. So here you have love. You also have the Gemini energy coming in. There's a fluidity to things, earth and air mixing together. You are an earth sign energy. Gemini is an air sign energy. That is a brilliant combination because the air, moves the earth and the earth moves the air. So something is going to be very moving for you. It's going to be very powerful. And as it comes into play in your life, what Spirit is saying, it lets you see two paths. And as you see these two paths, you start to juggle things. But it also lets you see, it's not simply two paths. It's two ways of looking at things. It's, again, the spiritual and the earthly plane. It's the practical and the exciting. It's something beautiful here for you. And as you embrace the lovers, as you embrace love and joy and happiness and success, as you have this coming together. Now, this could be of meeting somebody. You could be meeting someone and you're like, oh my gosh, they sweep you off your feet and it's breathtaking. Spirit is saying that they can also be somebody who you work with and you just work brilliantly with them. It's a connection, is what Spirit is saying. And they're showing me all the different connections that you can have. So don't think that it has to just be romantic. If you are in a relationship, this is your relationship becoming closer, you guys becoming more in sync with each other's thoughts. I never believe in two becoming one. I believe that you both stay very much separate entities. But here you are becoming more aligned and you are becoming more in harmony with your partner. And there is a deeper sense of moving towards what you desire. If you aren't in a relationship, or if you're saying, you know what, Dane, that's fine, but I want to know about work, and I want to know about my career, and I want to know about my passion and my dedication and the way I move forward, you are going to be very guided by your mind. All right. And you are going to be very guided by gathering knowledge and gathering understanding. And you can see yourself acting rather Gemini-like and flitzing from one topic to another, and taking in this knowledge and taking in this understanding in a way that might seem a little bit out of character, but you're actually compiling something that is rather beautiful for you. And you're going to see that it serves you very well, because what you're doing here is you're balancing the scales. You're balancing what you desire, where it is that you want to be, how it is that you want things to move forward. And you're also done with, Spirit is saying, you're done with giving and giving and giving, and nobody giving back to you. You're saying things have to be balanced, they have to be fair, and I'm not going to be putting up with nonsense anymore. I'm not going to be putting up with the fact that I get to sacrifice myself. I have to fall on my sword for you, because that's just not what you're doing anymore. If you are put in situations where people are telling you, oh, no, Taurus, you have to behave this way, you have to behave that way, you will do it if it makes sense. You will do it, and if it is your responsibility, if it is part of you owning what is yours, that's perfect. But if it is part of somebody being manipulative, if somebody trying to control you, somebody trying to silence you, this is where you're not okay with things. All right? And before, you wouldn't have been as sensitive to this as you are right now. People's bull, you're going to really be calling them out on it. You're going to be really sitting there and saying, this is what needs to be done. This is how things need to move forward, and I don't care. And there's an excitement to you, there's an energy to you, there's an enthusiasm to you, because you're seeing that there's prosperity coming in. And you might say, Dane, can you see this? This is the Five of Pentacles, and it is the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is about feeling outside of the wealth. And that's how you have felt for a really long time. Goodness. Okay. Outside of the wealth, outside of the bounty, outside of the prosperity. But there's a new way that you are looking at things. There's a judgment that is coming. And as the judgment comes, you rise up. You rise into your power. You rise into your grace. You rise into your beauty. You rise into the place that you want to be, and you don't feel like an outsider anymore. You start to see the world open up. You start to balance the scales. And as things are balanced, as things come into understanding, the truth surrounds you. So there is also the sense here of the truth being before that the prosperity was broken, that you were on the outside, that things couldn't be realized, they couldn't be understood. And there's also a strong connection here to your roots, to what you are desiring to bring into your life. And it can be that your roots have had you have, yes, I think that's saying it correctly. Well, you have a hard relationship with money. It can be that you are always told that you have to work really, 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 really hard, which of course you do, but maybe to a almost, obsessive extent, and then that you can't be expected to be paid properly for it, or something like that, or you always have to work 2 jobs, or you always have to do this, or money always flies out faster than it comes in, and something has been internalized here. It can also be karmic. It can also be something a karmic pattern for you that you are now breaking. And you're saying, you know what, no. And the judgment comes and the light bulb turns on and you have that aha moment. You have that moment of, oh my goodness, I understand. And as you understand and as you are empowered, you see the world open up to you. You see your power move you forward. You see your truth guide you. And as that truth guides you, you have this Six of Cups. Now, this is your childhood coming up. This is also what you desire creating within your life. This is where your thoughts focus. This is how you want to move forward. And you're actually having yourself leave something behind. And I do see it from childhood. I also see yourself leaving behind this sense of not being protected anymore. That's what Spirit is saying. It's like you were protected. For some of you, you had a good childhood, or you had that desire, not the desire. There were people who protected you because people are supposed to protect children. All right? And if they didn't do that in your life, I am so absolutely and positively sorry for that. But there is a sense here of you feeling as if I always have to protect myself. And Spirit is saying, that's wrong. I'm here for you. Lean on me. Talk to me. This is why I'm here. And you might sit there and say, Dane, talking to Spirit is not the same as having a friend or having a parent or having someone who I can truly confide in and who truly understands me. And that's completely true. That's absolutely valid. But Spirit will actually understand you more than anybody else. And yes, sometimes you need somebody to talk to. And I would recommend a hotline or therapy if you need somebody to talk to, somebody who can just hear you and you can bounce ideas off of and go into deeper meanings and understandings of things, if that's what you need. But if you just need to know that Spirit has their arms wrapped around you, that your angels have their wings wrapped around you, protecting you, cocooning you, keeping you safe, keeping you strong, then that is what I need you to know. Well, that is what Spirit needs you to know, and I am simply stating it. Because you have gone through a tower time, and it has been with money and a mindset towards money. And Spirit is saying here, that chapter of your life is over. Now, you may be writing a new chapter of your life that seems awfully similar, but you're going to find that it's a karmic pattern. You're going to find that things start to fall apart. And as things fall apart, you rebuild on a firmer foundation. The tower is nothing bad. The tower can seem bad because you're pushed out of your comfort zone. Divinity says, I don't want you here anymore. This has become too complacent for you. This isn't developing you spiritually. And that's when we're told to leave places. That's when we get this desire just to move on. And we fight that, most definitely, as human beings. And sometimes we ignore it altogether. But Spirit is really hoping you do not ignore this. Spirit is really hoping that you move forward, that you embrace your power, that you look at your truth, and you stand in your glory. Because you're going to see that the prosperity comes in, that you can balance more than you thought was possible. And as you balance more than you thought was possible, and when you balance what you desire in your truth, the world opens up. And as the world opens up, you see that the seeds that were planted, with this acorn, the seeds that were planted become mighty oaks. And I'm just thinking, here, Spirit has given me the imagery of boiling acorns, because acorns are edible. You just have to boil them a tremendous amount. So if, let's say, you're camping and you run out of food or something like that, you can boil acorns, but they're bitter and they're nasty and they don't taste good, all right? But they will still nourish you. And that's kind of like the lessons of life. As you embrace your world, as you embrace the world opening up to you in a way that you see what you have defined yourself in lack starts to fall away. Those were bitter pills. They're not easy things. And so as it falls, you find yourself seeing and judging yourself in a different way. It's not like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I was so stupid as to have done this when I was this old and do that when I was this age. And you go on and on and on berating yourself. You start to come to where it is that you want to be and what it is that your heart desires from a place of love, from a place of caring, from a place of understanding. There's a strong connection here with this at your crown, with this Pisces energy, and at your root with this Gemini energy. So it is also your mind and your heart coming together, a sense of riding the waves of your emotions and not being pulled into the undertow of where you think you should be and where it is that you truly are standing. And as you move towards and embrace your power, as you look at the prosperity that has been broken, know that it hasn't been broken to make you a pauper, to make you and break you, yet to make you broken. It has been shattered to build something firmer, something more powerful. Spirit keeps on giving me a house built on sand. A foundation of sand is no foundation at all. And that's what I'm seeing here with you. Before it was a foundation of sand, and that was no foundation at all. Now it is something steady and sturdy, and now you are entering into a prosperity that you didn't think of. And as you thought that it would never be yours, you gave up on something, you lost something of you, and now you're claiming it again. Okay, let me see what your spirit guide, oh goodness, keeps on happening. What your spirit guide animal cards have to say. Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Taurus, spirit guide message for Taurus. 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 Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Fantastic, okay. And I'm just going to lay these out quietly. I love this. I love how sweet it is. Because at the heart of everything is the rabbit spirit. And this says, now is your lucky time. As you mourn what you have been through, as you look at yourself in a more true and honest light, you are going to see that now is your lucky time. And it starts planning for the future. It starts giving you hope. You start seeing things unfold. And I'm not saying that now is a time where everything goes right. No, Spirit is not saying that at all. It is saying here that all of a sudden you start to put the pieces of the puzzle together. You balance your emotions and your passions, and you start to see the light of your truth, the way you need to move things forward. And this also is showing you that you have been through so much. And by acknowledging that, yes, I have been through so much, even if others might laugh at what you've been through and say, oh my gosh, I've been through so much worse. Okay, that's great. This isn't a competition. Calm down. So here, as you see what you have been through, and you acknowledge that it has been hard, and it has been difficult, you release a weight from your shoulders, and you move into a lucky time. And as you move into a lucky time, you give with gratitude and grace as you plant your seeds for what you want the world to be for you. It isn't demanding. It isn't saying, yes, this has to be this way, and I'm going to use my strength and my power and my ability to manifest what I desire to rule over, to be like, the Lord of everybody. It is simply saying here that you move forward with gratitude and you move forward with grace, with a humility of heart and a power of self that embraces your sensitivity, your sensuality, that has you really connecting with the earth in a way that makes you much more, earthy during this time, makes you much more connected with what you desire and the way that you need to move forward. And this starts to open up the world for you because you're starting to not only embrace different ideas, but feel the energy vibration around you. Feel what it is that your heart truly wants, because we are emotional beings. I am of the firm belief that we are emotional beings. And as emotional beings, we have to listen to our hearts first. And it isn't saying, okay, it isn't like Romeo and Juliet and saying, I want what I want and I will, sacrifice everything for it and nothing else matters. No, it is saying here, I'm being logical. I am listening to my heart, but I also know my responsibilities. And as I move forward in my grace, as I move forward in my blessings, as I move forward knowing that the God's head lives within me and that I am part of stardust, I am made of stardust and I am part of the universe, that I start to see infinite opportunities opening up. I start to see that the small little box I put myself in and that the world put me in is not where I want to stand. And as you see that, you start to become more playful. And the fear starts to fall away with the sandpiper spirit. It says here, be playful. And then you have Horus embracing the moon, embracing endless possibilities, embracing the unknown, which is what you're doing by embracing your emotional truth and being more playful with what you desire and where you want to stand. And as you embrace that playfulness, you move forward in the groundhog spirit, which says, it's time to let go. And I love here how he's nibbling on this heart. It's time to let go of what broke your heart before. It's time to let go of what couldn't be and what wasn't, and embrace what is and who you are and where you stand. And as you do so, you have the Two of Pentacles coming in, prosperity. You have the balance coming in, the balance of the heart, the balance of the self, the balance of the prosperity that you want to bring into your life. And as you embrace that balance, you see more of your truth, you see more of your power, you see more of where you want to stand and who it is that you are, which means that you lay a solid foundation, and that's at your roots. And that's where you want your solid foundation, at your roots, because that's what's holding up the tree. And as you lay this solid foundation, oh gosh, look at that synchronicity right here. That solid foundation is of love. You have 6 and you have 6. Again, and you had the repeat of the number 6 within this reading, which is talking about love. Didn't you? Pause for a moment. Yeah, you had 6 3 times. So you had divinity giving you the repeat of the number 6. Right? It repeated 3 times. And what it is saying here is that as you embrace your heart, as you embrace your generosity of spirit, as you embrace your love and your nurturing, right? Because that's very much a part of you, Taurus. You embrace your foundation for which you are building the rest of your life on, which you are taking the steps to rebuild what you desire. And it doesn't have to be that you're rebuilding your whole entire life. You might be sitting there and saying, Dane, I like my life. I like where I am. This is saying that even if you like where you are creating an even firmer foundation because you are creating a greater truth within yourself. You are bringing towards you the love, the bounty, and the prosperity of the earth. It's like that oak tree taking root and then sprouting and growing towards the sun. That is what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing you grow towards your full potential, towards your passion, because the sun is fire in the sky, right? And so you're growing towards your passion. And the wind goes through your branches. It helps you. It protects you. Sometimes it, wears at you. But you have this moving you forward. And it's always going to be caressing you, surrounding you. So it can be that you have a absolutely fantastic relationship with a Gemini energy or somebody who has this duality of spirit to them, but you're also embracing this duality of spirit, this duality of mind that is always going to be challenging you, moving around you, caressing your ideas and your understanding. And it's going to be the foundation for which you build off of. There's the duality of you, which is the stability, the sensibility of your earth sign energy, and the sensuality, the creativity of your Taurian traits coming together, and they intertwine, and you're going to feel a shift, but also a power that comes from it. And as you embrace that power, you move towards the grasshopper spirit, which says take a leap of faith. Take a leap of faith as you balance the scales. Take a leap of faith as you look at what you want to produce and what you want to create and how you are moving forward. But take that leap of faith. And at times, that leap of faith is going to lead to the scales being unbalanced. And when the scales are unbalanced, you're going to think, oh my gosh, I did something horrible. And the fact of the matter is you didn't. You didn't do anything horrible. You needed to unbalance the scales in order to embrace the prosperity and the balance that you really desire. And as you move forward in that truth and in that understanding, this leads you to realizing and trusting in the divine detours and saying that, yes, I went through these hard times. I went through these broken times, these times where I felt like an outsider of prosperity, of bounty, of what I valued as much as money, or maybe it was money. And now you're seeing that these detours were for a reason, that you would not be in the place that you are right now, which you might not understand where you are right now. Believe me, oh my gosh, have I been through those moments where I'm like, all right, world, thank you. This is nice. I don't want to be here. There's nothing about this that I like. What the heck is going on? And it's only, sometimes it's months, sometimes it's days later if you're really lucky, but usually it's years later where you see the purpose of that. And what I'm seeing here with the coyote spirit is that that purpose is starting to come clear. You're starting to see why you had to go through those hardships, those pains, and those disappointments, that sense of feeling like an outsider. It's actually going to be one of your greatest tools as you move forward. And then we have the bobcat spirit, which says life is a mystery. And judgment, I love that, the mystery, and then the aha moment. It's like, oh my gosh, the light bulb went on. You know, that light bulb moment, that sense of, oh my gosh, I get it. And that's what it's going to be like. You're going to see that, yes, life is a mystery, but it's also a mastery. It's also as if you are learning. I always think of it as learning to be, well, yeah, Da Vinci. And I know that sounds funny, but I admire him so much. And there is this sense that he had to start off, as talented as he was from a young age, he had to start off as an apprentice, as did all, people. But he started off as an apprentice. He started off sweeping up the floors. He started off, doing all this stuff. And then he surpassed the master. He surpassed even expectations. And that's what I see that life is. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be something that you enjoy doing. All right? But if you stick to it and you keep on going, you surpass expectations. And it does not mean that you will be rolling in dough and be a millionaire or remembered like Da Vinci. What it does mean is that you live your purpose. You feel happy and content. You feel more grounded within yourself. Millions of dollars, it's not necessary to be happy. Statistically, it is proven that if you make enough money to pay your bills, to cover main expenses, the more money you earn after that, it doesn't increase your happiness. And everybody has a baseline happiness, which is usually where they fall back to. You can have big moments, and then, that gives you a rush of joy, a rush of excitement, but you will fall back to your baseline of happiness. And what I see you doing here is you're raising that baseline of happiness. You're saying, wow, look at me. Look at what I have done. And it's not in this braggadocious, show-offy way. It is in simply a, wow, look at everything that I have been through. Give yourself the respect and give yourself the applause that you deserve. Because look at what you have been through. Look at what you have overcome. Look at how far you have come. Judgment is saying the angels have seen you. Judgment is saying your spirit guide has seen you. And they want you to know that they are so terribly proud of you. And never think that life is not a mystery. Never think that you are supposed to know all the answers, because you're not. You're just supposed to be able to think on your feet. And that's what you're doing, because you're moving towards your gratitude and your grace. You're moving towards taking that leap of faith, towards something greater, towards something beautiful. And as you do so, it's time to dive deeper. It's time to dive deeper into what you want. It's time to dive deeper into the fears that you hold. Where do they come from? Where do they stem from? Why are you being held back and not moving forward? And as soon as you realize it, and you might want to write it down, you might want to sit down and say, I started doubting myself. I remember in preschool, or kindergarten, I remember telling a classmate of mine that I wanted to be a horseback rider, astronaut, writer. That's what I wanted to be when I was little. And she told me that I couldn't because that's not what girls did. And that changed in that I wasn't very feminine. And that changed the way I looked at things. And I was like, oh, I want to be feminine. I want to be pretty. So I was like, okay, I think I just dropped astronaut from that list. Or stopped telling her that I wanted to be an astronaut. But it stayed in my psyche because sometimes when I'm laying in bed, it just comes up. So that's what I'm saying to you. That's why Spirit said share that story. Because as irrelevant as it is, and as silly as it might sound, I still think about that. And I still think of how pretty I thought she was and how, she had this command to her. And I wanted that. So it can go back all the way to when you were in preschool or kindergarten, and if you write it down, if you want to write it down, or if you want to just give voice to it, look at yourself in the mirror and give it a voice. And then say, this has no hold over me anymore. This is not my truth. This is not who I am. I'm not in kindergarten anymore. I'm not what my ex said I was. I'm not this, I'm not that. And as you move forward in it, you dive deeper into the extent of what you can do. You dive deeper into your truth, into your power. And as you do so, you watch your words. You watch your words actually leave your body, right? Free you. Leave you kind of like shackles around you. And you watch yourself fly. And you watch that tower, you watch the past having fallen. And you're saying now that you do have that whole new foundation, that whole new start, that brand new start. And you might be saying, Dane, I don't have a brand new start. It's scary. It's overwhelming. I'm going through this right now. Things are falling around me. In the midst of a tower time, do not sit there and, no, okay. In the midst of a tower time, write it out. In the midst of a tower time, get as angry as you want to get as frustrated as you want to get. But do not let it stop you. Don't. Because if you let it stop you, you let it define you. And you can let heartbreak and pain be with you. I mean, you can sit there and say, you know what, I feel this way. I am angry, I am frustrated, I am overwhelmed, this wasn't fair. But then don't let it become the burden that you carry on your back. Right? The thing that you take and hold to your heart, and it moves you down and down and down, and it makes you less able to stand in pride and in glory of self. You rise higher, and you let the fear crumble. And you don't fight the fact that divinity is pushing you out of your comfort zone. I mean, you could get as, excuse my language, but as pissed as all hell at it, and as angry as you want to be. But don't fight it, because you're just going to find that it becomes more. And when you have a problem, look towards the solution. Look at your solution. And it might not be a fantastic solution. You might not sit there and be like, wow, that stinks. I don't want it. But be proactive. And as you are proactive, you gain your voice, you gain your power, you gain your truth. And it lets you fly. And it lets you be beautiful while flying. It lets you embrace the multicolored faceted, of your soul, of your spiritual connection, of what you're radiating outward. It's almost of your aura, right? It is of your aura. It's what, spiritually people can perceive. And you're changing, you're flying. You're going to be changing the color of it, or you're going to be changing the way people perceive you. And so it's just going to be intense, and you're going to see that shift. And as you see it, you realize it's time to let go. It's time to let go of what you've been carrying. And as you do, you give with gratitude and grace. You give it away with gratitude and grace. And you say, you know what? Divinity, you handle this. You know what, Spirit Guide, this is yours now. It's no longer defining me. And as you give with gratitude and grace, as you embrace your power, your truth, and your prosperity, you have a foundation now built on bedrock. You have a deeper sense of self and of soul. And you rise to a height that wasn't expected. Your subconscious message for your Spirit Guide animal cards is the electric eel, there we go, spirit, which says, bring your ideas to life. It's time to take action. It's time to sit there and not just think about things, not just talk about things. It's time to create, and it's time to cultivate. It's like planting seeds into the ground. It's time to watch those seeds grow, right? It's not time for harvest yet, but it is time for growth and understanding. And then your chakra subconscious message is the angels and masters. That's what you're channeling right now. You are channeling the angels, and you are channeling the masters, and this is part of the soul star chakra, which is located 6 inches above your crown chakra, and you are connected so profoundly with a higher source that subconsciously you know it. Subconsciously you're moving towards something greater. Subconsciously you know that it is time to almost take off like a rocket. And your angels, your spirit guides, they're right with you, giving you wings, helping you fly, to new heights. And then your botanical oracle says protection. Spirit is saying they're protecting you. Your spirit guide is protecting you. You are protected. Do not do anything, astoundingly foolish during this time, because it's not saying that, if you drive too fast on the road, you're totally protected and you'll be great. No. Be sensible, be logical, of course, but know that you are protected as you go after your dreams, as you look at new heights, as you're finding your balance and you're laying your foundation and you're freeing yourself of pain and of sorrow and from the disappointments of the past and even the disappointments of the present, where you're realizing to be kinder to yourself and more forgiving to yourself. You are protected, and you are learning how to protect you. There's also a sense of boundaries here. There's also a sense of needing to have defined boundaries with other people. Not thinking, okay, I can, take on everything and everything will be fine. No, do not take on everything. It's going to be too much. Know that you are moving forward in your prosperity, in your harvest of self, and in your bounty. And as you do so, you are protected towards your greater, as you move towards your greater truth and your greater power. And your subconscious message for this whole entire reading is another 6. It's the 6 of Wands. And the 6 of Wands is saying here that, yeah, it's showing me a sense of profound success, profound happiness, profound love coming in, and a sense of feeling more stabilized and secure and bountiful, and seeing the prosperity move you forward. And as you do so, you see the chaos and, what you have tried to juggle before fall away. And there's a greater wisdom to you now, and a greater power to you now. And you are absolutely embracing that. But it all comes from the heart. The fact that you have gotten the number 6, what is it? Now 5 times, which is funny, is profoundly beautiful for you. And as you move forward in this grace and in this power, you claim it. You claim it, and you claim the power of your heart, because Taurus, your heart is unstoppable. And that's where Spirit is giving you your greatest power. All right, Taurus, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. And I love you all. Bye.